Right, well, we'll move back away from Cybernet sets and on to Maxon built stuff. Got a Midland immaculate Portapak, and it's the early version with the channel 9 switch there rather than the one that boots up on channel 9. So just take that out of its nappy. May as well use no TX on low, right, okay. May as well use his own information, and we'll keep the blue cloth on for this one as well because it's another immaculate set. I'll get it powered up. As ever, I've got to keep an eye on the time. Make sure it's in high position. And connect it up to the test gear. And I can actually see we're recording sound today, which is incredible. We have to connect an extension speaker to these because with them being transportable, there's no internal speaker. It coming out through the speaker microphone, which is usually worth more than the set. Oh, look at that, it's got some debris in the grill. Remind myself what voltage these are. They're going to be 12, aren't they? And that's what it says. Right, we'll power it up. And we're at 12.4 volts. Just put the crocodile clips on the fag lighter plug. And he's already on channel 20, which is really handy. Right, I'll get a piece of paper and we'll take it through its paces. I think the next set we're going to do will be that Fidelity 3000 base station I bought via eBay from Knights, which is one of their not really repairable sets they were selling on for spares or repairs, because I want to use it to plug into our background music system. We have a scanner plugged into that, but it doesn't do UK channels, CB channels. You know, it'll do 27 megs, but it'll be 27185. It won't be 2760125, and it isn't near enough to be any use. So the idea with using Fidelity 3000 is that it has a tape recorder output socket, and that means we can plug that into the mixer on the public address system, which I think will be fantastic. So really we only need it to work on receive. Yes, I can hear you all saying they are rubbish receivers. Yeah, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. It'd be nice to monitor Mr. Chippy channel 31, and then people who are within a mile can go, I bought Tango Towers. So I know somebody who likes to do that. So it's a 77805. UK. Right, here goes. Transmit. Just turn the volume down. On the 3 watt scale, and it's doing bang on 2.5 watts. Deviation. Wallow. It's doing. Let's just check that mocap. Wallow. It's actually 2 to 2.3 kilohertz. I can just bring that up a tiny bit. Now we'll take the frequency of the pinch of salt because the test set's only been on 10 minutes, but yeah, I mean that's going to be spot on, isn't it? Now we'll go over to receive. Let's see what that's reading on the cyanide meter. So we'll attenuate it till we get to, oops, turn the squelch down. We'll get to 12 dB. I need more than that. So for 12 dB, it's not that good. Receive is 1.25 microvolts for 12 dB cyanide. And he reports it on low power. We'll go back to transmit. Then there's no transmit at all. We'll find the little switch. And on low power, there is no transmit at all. We'll get it opened up. So we'll be clear about this once and for all. Mobile 13.8 volts, 12 volts when on DC battery. So we can put this up to 13.8 volts and we can recheck what it's transmitting at 13.8 volts. And it's 3 watts. So that was 12 volts, 13.8 volts, it's 3 watts. So that's what it says in the book. So I'm glad we've got the book. It says it's supposed to be 0.7 microvolts for 12 decibel cyanide, which of course it isn't. And it says quite clearly here, as a mobile it's 4 watts, and as a transportable it's 3 watts. So that's an important fact to note. Don't ever think you're being shortchanged, because most of the 4 watt hand portables, like the big realistics, are 3.5 watts by the time it comes out of the aerial socket, and a lot of new ones are less than that. Then we look at the German type ones like the DNT, which used to say 2 watts on the sales blurb, but in fact they're half a watt. It's 2 watts input, half a watt output, which I think is a bit disingenuous, but that's the way it traditionally was in Germany, and it was in America, because they used to put 5 watts, didn't they, on their 4 watt hand portables, because they'd put the input power. If I can find the circuit diagram the right way up. So I'll see if we can find our service notes and save having to wade through it again. Right, so with the 2/3 of the service manual that we've got, which doesn't have the setup details, but the voltage charts and the other diagrams and the components list, we will find our way around it. The transmit line is here, so we're at 13.8 volts. We're going to transmit. If we hadn't become disconnected from the cigarette lighter plug. I think it's another new old stock set. It's so new, shall we say. Just check. This is what? RV501. And I haven't got that on my notes, so just see what if we can find out if it's just in case it's transmit power or no, it could be low power. We'll come back to that. You know what? I haven't got picture in picture on, have I? Okay, so we're just at 4 watts now. There we go, 4 watts. So low power isn't working. Low power's working a bit. So is that because it's that preset? Yeah. Okay. So we'll now put the test set into low power mode, which is 3 watt scale. So we want this now to be 400 milliwatts. So we've got high power, we've got low power. There could have just been a dirty spot and it's just needed a bit of waggling around, but it's certainly working reliably now. So that's we've lined up the transmitter. Let's just check the radio's on frequency now. It wasn't very far out at all when we initially checked it. Keep it a bit high at 127 because then it's got room to drop with age, which is what happens. So we've got 4 watts on 13.8 volts. Out of interest, we'll switch to 12 volts with 12.4 and the transmit power is now 3.2 watts, and that's drawing 900 milliamps. So that's about where it should be, which is excellent. Right, let's have a look at deviation. It wasn't really out, but we'll do it anyway. Wallow, just that little bit to come up, which is the preset I'm guessing. I think it's 105, but it's so indistinct on the photocopy. I think it's that one. Let's get the little sine wave generator, the Korg TM50 chromatic tuner, which I use. No, that's not deviation. There, isn't it? Well, this is fun, isn't it? It was that one. Wallow. That's it. So 105 is definitely deviation. And 501, I didn't read that right, it's 501 is low power. So we've done that. So that one I fiddle with will be squelch, and I expect they're the meter, those two. Once again, I've shown you the wrong thing on the picture-in-picture. Wallow. There we have the 2.5 peak. So now we'll go over to the meter on the radio. So it's reading 4 bars. The way of setting this is setting to low power. It should read 1 bar, and it does. I want to just prove which adjustment it is. I think it's 03, which I think is that one there, if I can actually get a tool into it. It is. It is. That's good. So the back one is low power. Sorry, it's TX meter. So that concludes the transmit. We'll go over to receive. So the first thing we need to do is to put an S9 equivalent signal on the radio. Remember, the receive's a bit crummy really on this, which is a shame. Probably why they put it back in the box and never used it. So we want enough volume to give us a decent trace on the oscilloscope. And we need to adjust the detector coil. Which was considerably out, although I took it in the wrong direction initially, it was considerably out. So that's going to make a massive improvement. So now we'll go through the front end. We'll use the cyanide meter. Absolutely miles out, that coil. I'm now able to go on to the next scale on the test set. Miles out again. I think it's been aligned with a potato. That's spot on. Quite get the tool into that. Miles out. Just recheck the first two. A bit less signal there. Check it with a bigger signal. Check it with a smaller signal. And let's read off what we've got. There's our 12 dB reference point. We've got 0.61 microvolts. and the manufacturer says it should be 0.7 or better. What a revelation, what an improvement, absolutely unbelievable. Right, let's get the meter set. So 100 microvolts on the signal generator once again. Take picture in picture off, and we've got exactly what we should have, which is 3 out of the 4 lights. Just to verify which adjustment it is, I think it's the 102, which I think is that one. But I know it's that one because it says so on the manual. It's a bit I can read. Yeah. So, bigger signal, we've got plus 30, lower signal and it drops. So that's where it should be. Yeah, I've just adjusted it a tiny little bit, but that was that. So the only other thing is squelch. Now I messed with that inadvertently, so let's go put the signal. We'll put this picture in picture onto the attenuator controls of the test set, and there we go. So with this, remember this is concentric. So we'll turn the signal generator down, turn the squelch to full, and then adjust the attenuator on the test equipment till we get to 100 microvolts, at which point I want the squelch to open. 1, 3, 10, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts. So me fiddling with it was set right before, it isn't set right now. Now why aren't I getting anything? I've actually got it as its most sensitive. So it comes in at quite a big 350 microvolts, but at least it does open. I wish it was a bit more sensitive, but it isn't. So the next thing is setting it, making sure it's performing properly at the low end. So releasing the squelch. Got the signal generator now to standby at 0.3 of a microvolt. We've set the squelch to threshold. Now we'll switch the signal generator back on. Straight in. So it's coming in at 0.3 of a microvolt. It's going off at 0.22 of a microvolt. Excellent sensitivity. That'll do scratchy corner a treat. So that is it. So a lot out on the receiver, considering it's a new old stock type of set. Pleased to sort that out. Just a bit of dirt on the preset there. So that should now be working beautifully for the customer. Where have I put the lid? I put it on that piece of polystyrene. I'll just check that the speaker mic actually works. It does. I'll screw this together and then we'll put it on the aerial. Right, here we go. I'll tell you what, we'll put it on the extension speaker rather than the speaker mic. We'll do a bit of both when we do the on the air test, but put it on the speaker which is mounted on the wall. Remember, you've got a light on and off on these, so if you buy one of these and it's not lit up, well, yeah, it's that. One Anna Roger. Well, that's nothing new, is it? One Anna Roger. Well, there's nothing new there. So it's a nice sensitive set now, and I'm sure that the customer is going to be very chuffed with that. It's certainly receiving right down well beyond 0.3 of a microvolt. So there we are. So 77805 UK, that's the one with the LC7137 chip and the proper channel selector, rather than the one which starts off on channel 9, which is the D version. People say it's D for deaf, but I've not actually found that. But it's D for annoyingly coming on channel 9. Thank you for watching.